What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel, and welcome back to UNPL Week 3. This week we take on ShadowStitch, the coach of the Charlotte Chandelures, and we are in for yet another weather war, and I'm sure a very fun fight. Before we jump into it, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already, and we're going to go ahead and do a quick team builder before we jump into it, but of course, as always, there will be a timestamp down below if you would like to skip ahead to the battle. Looking at my opponent's team, you can see we have another Sun team. We faced a Sun team last week, and we're facing another one going into this week. So another weather war is about to ensue. This is going to make it very difficult for us in order to really get going what we need to. You know, last week we didn't bring the rain, and that didn't really work out for us. So this week, I think we're gonna have to change up our strategy in order to work on this a little bit better. My opponent brings Darkrai once again. Now, he drafted this last time in last season, although we did not play him because he was in the opposite division from us. And we actually have played Shadow before back in SSBA, where he beat us with an Endurer red card Slowbro to shut down Sneasler. So there's a bit of history there, and I'm looking for a run back there. We've also got Walking Wake, of course, to go with that Sun, which is really scary. Gliscor, Hatterene, Venusaur, of course, an amazing Sun abuser. Fortress, we've got Terra, Rotom Fan, which is pretty cool, although Venusaur is definitely much more likely in this matchup. Hisuian Lilligant, very strong Mon, and then you've got Haunter, Dugong, and Persian. Now, there's a reason I'm not showing my team at the bottom of the screen just yet, and that's because we made a couple of changes going into this week. A coach had to unfortunately drop going into this week, and another coach took over and happened to drop a Pokemon that I thought was a really good pickup, and so I had to shift some things around. So unfortunately, we did have to say goodbye to Torterra and Hitmonchan and Servine. Yes, despite Servine doing work last week, we did have to say goodbye to those three. So thank you all for your service. You did great. But in their place, we picked up two amazing replacements. Number one, we picked up Great Tusk, and this thing is insanely good. One of the best Mons in the game, much less in draft. This thing can do so much. It's another spinner. It's one of the best spinners in the game, if not the best. It keeps us having a ground type. It gives us a better dark resist than what we had before. It's just overall really good for what we need. Hard hitter, can be bulky, can be offensive. Really cool. And then we also picked up one other Pokemon, because where we lost Torterra, I wanted it a grass type. And you better believe we picked up Appleton. To round out our squad, we picked up the mascot Appleton there in the back and turned around and made it a Terra captain because we had enough points left over. So I'm really hyped about having Terra Appleton. It is Terra Dragon, Fairy, and Steel. I may end up making changes to that later on, but for now, that is what we are rocking for this week. So what did I bring? Let's take a look at it. Number one, let's start with Great Tusk, right? It's one of the new things that we got, and I want to try it out. We're running an AV set, pretty bulky this week, but also fast. No offensive investment at all this week, and that's just because I want to be able to get a speed boost if we do end up in the sun. This thing obviously will love being in the sun with the photosynthesis ability, so I want to make sure that I get a speed boost and can get off some decently big hits. Stone Edge, Play Rough, Ice Spinner hits pretty much his entire team for neutral, and then we've got Rapid Spin as well in case we need to get rid of any hazards. Next up, we've got Appleton. That's right, we're bringing both of the new Mons this week, and I'm pumped. We're bringing a very weird Appleton set this week, and honestly, I think this thing is going to put in a ton of work. His team just can't really touch Appleton. It just Terra Fairy Appleton just is so good into his squad. He has no answers. So with the thick fat ability, we're going to be taking any hit he wants to go for. He doesn't have a ton that really deal with fairies outside of things like Venusaur, but even then, we are running Max Spadef with the Rest, Recycle, and Amnesia. I think it would be very reasonable to say that we can get to +6 with this and then just sit, because my opponent's team is almost exclusively special attackers, and even if you're looking at a Sludge Bomb from Darkrai, after an Amnesia or two, I'm not worried about that at all. It's dealing nothing. And even if you get the poison, I can rest that off. I can recycle my Chesto Berry back and just keep on going. and then I fire off Apple Acids. What's great about Apple Acid is that it's going to lower my opponent's SPDEF every time I use it. That means that even though the grass typing is not very effective into most of his team, what it does do is allow me to constantly snowball and nothing can sit. This causes him to have to shuffle, which is not good, especially when you're going up against a team like mine. Shuffling can end up in a really bad spot for you, and so that's kind of the idea here. Next up, Glamora, and we're bringing a pretty standard Glamora set this week, honestly. I was gonna go with more Power Herb Meteor Beam shenanigans like last week, but ended up settling on something a little bit more standard, so nothing too crazy on this end. We did bring Corrosion this week though, just because I don't think that he's going to proc my my Toxic Debris. I just don't think that there are enough physical attackers where I can really rely on that happening. So I think Corrosion with Toxic for things like the Fortress is really nice. But besides that, I don't think Glamora is insane. I just want to be able to get up some rocks more than anything, and that's pretty much the long and short of it. Glamora is there to set up rocks and maybe get some poisons on some things that normally can't be poisoned. Next up, Pelipper, and we are running a Boots Pelipper this week, just in case we can't get rid of any hazards before it needs to come in and set that weather. I wanted to go with Boots this week just because we are fighting a weather war, and so I might need to be switching in and out a lot in order to negate that Ninetales from setting up the sun. And with that, I'm gonna need to be switching in a lot. If I am Damp Rock, then I'm gonna be taking rocks, and I don't want to deal with that. So we're running Boots, and we actually have the Tailwind tech. Whether or not we're gonna click it, I don't know, but it is a really fun tech in case we do lose the Weather War and we want to be faster than something like the Lilligant or something else that's getting a boost in the sun, something like the Venusaur. This will give us a boost over that sun boost in speed. Next up, we have Kingdra, and we're going with an Expert Belt Kingdra this week with a Fairy Terra, like normal, with Swift Swim, of course, and when we are running Dragon Pulse, Flash Cannon, Ice Beam, Weather Ball. Of course, Weather Ball allows it to possibly be a fire type move if my opponent gets up the sun, and this could allow us to hit some things we normally couldn't. So I like that a lot. We don't really need the water coverage all that much, at least on this set, I don't think. I think the Dragon, Steel, and Ice is plenty. So I think this thing can put in some decent work. It's mainly just there to soften some things up for my final member, and that is Assault Vest Palafin. Assault Vest Palafin kind of goes hard here, and I really don't need any bulk. I'm just running max speed, max attack with an Assault Vest, and honestly, that's enough. As you can see, I really didn't focus on physical bulk at all going into this squad because I'm really not threatened by his physical attackers, the few of them that they are, unless he wants to bring something like Swords Dance Venusaur. I don't see that being an issue. So we are running Assault Vest here with Jet Punch, Wave Crash, Drain Punch, and Ice Punch. So that is the squad for this week. I hope you guys are excited for this battle. I know I am. So let's get joined up with ShadowStitch and we'll get into the battle. All right, we are searching here for Shadow. Let's see what we get. Again, it's a little echoey this week, so I'm sorry if that comes through the mic again. I'll try to mitigate that as much as I can. There he is. Let's see what he has brought this week. I've got an okay idea. Okay, Lilligant comes. I wasn't necessarily expecting Lilligant, but the rest of it kind of makes sense. No Fortress is interesting. Okay, so Darkrai, Wake, Ninetales, Lilligant, Gliscor, and Hatterene. Okay, nothing too crazy there. I don't think. What is your lead here? I mean, it's probably what? Probably the Gliscor, I would think. We'll just lead this, and we can swap if we need to. That should be fine. Go ahead and get Palafin activated. I would definitely like to have that ready to go. And let me get the info here just so that I'm a little bit better prepared here. Let me get his team pulled up. But I am excited. No Terra captains this week is interesting. No Venusaur. I definitely expected Venusaur to come this week. Leads with Wake. Okay. All right, that's fine, I guess. We go ahead and get Palafin activated. Okay, we don't see a booster, which is fair. I mean, obviously we have. Obviously, my opponent can go right for the sun to get that set up, so that's totally fine. I am slower than this, I believe, so I don't think staying in is a great option. And I think we're specially defensive on most things. I definitely don't want to go into this until I get it set up, because a dragon move definitely could be coming here. I brought Toxic specifically for the fortress and it didn't come, so I don't think that this has nearly as much use as what I was hoping it would. I just really thought Fortress would come for the rain and that kind of thing. I don't have a whole lot that can hit it for super effective. So I don't know. Very, very interesting. We'll waste our balloon here, but yeah, there is the Draco. My opponent knows that I don't really have a resistance. I don't really have any resistances to the eject pack. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I don't have any dragon resists on my team, so I've got to be really careful about that. But that's a fair play on turn one to go ahead and get off some damage on something. I think if it's going to be on anything, I think Glim is going to be the best option. It doesn't really wall anything. I've got to be careful with Lilligant though, just because that could end up being an issue. So I think I can just fire off a Sludge Bomb here. If he wants to take me out, he can. That's fine. But I don't want him setting up like substitutes or anything like that. That would not be optimal. So we're not gonna let that happen. So Darkrai goes ahead and claims a kill there, which is fine. Glim unfortunately didn't do anything, but I think this just wasn't really the matchup for it. And that just is what it is. I could probably go into this, honestly, pretty freely. We are AV. And so I want to save my Appleton tech for a little bit later. I want to get the team worn down just a little bit before I start firing off anything with that. What do you want to go into? I could probably fire off a Drain Punch here. You might go Wake, which would be fair. I'm just gonna click Drain. It's a nice neutral option. I don't think that you want to go into Hatterene risking me going for a water move. I think you gotta go Wake here to take this. Yeah, I figured as much. It deals almost, okay, that was a crit. I was like, that did a lot. That did a lot. So can we get an idea about Wake's set here? I mean, I know we no longer have an item, but do we have any bulk here if Drain does that much on a crit? I mean, it looks like you're just kind of max most likely. Ice Punch doesn't do all that much without a crit. Draco does not kill here. And I could probably take 2, I think. I'm gonna click Ice Punch here actually, because the Assault Vest is gonna actually help me out here, which is pretty nice. There goes the Draco again. I should live this because of my Assault Vest. Yep, it does half. And so that's fine. Let's see, what do you want to do here? I'm gonna switch back to Drain here. Yeah, he'll probably expect another Ice Punch. And what do you go into here? Goes Ninetales? Okay, yeah, that's fine. I should get some decent health back now as he sets up the sun. That we do almost half, which is nice. Get some health back, which means that we can take another We can take another Draco from this, which is nice. We could go into this now. Yeah, get rid of your son and just see what my opponent wants to do. All right, we're doing a little bit of work. We're chipping some things down. If we can get rid of his Sunsetter, that definitely would help for the late game. But ultimately getting Appleton here, I could have gone Appleton here, I guess. You don't have the best switch ins for Appleton. Ninetales is a little tough, I guess. But of course Gliscor. It just depends on what kind of set that the Gliscor is running. He could be some like crazy offensive set for him to not want to bring it out just yet. I'm not sure. The Gliscor could be anything, honestly, but I'm not terribly worried about the Hatterene because I'll end up being Terra Fairy, so it's not nearly as big of a deal. All right, clicks Energy Ball. That's fine. We're Spadef, so we take that really easily. I think we can just click U-turn here. I don't think you stay in. Yeah, that gives me the switch initiative. All right, yeah, you're faster, so you have to go first, which is really good for us. So we actually get the initiative. Maybe expecting me to hard switch, which is fair. But us being slower gives us that U-turn, so that's really nice actually. And yeah, I'm glad that we're slower here because that really helps us out in the long run. All right, U-turn. Of course, that's dealing 0, but we get to go into whatever we want to here. And how much do we do to Hatterene with Palafin in the rain? It really depends on your set, and I don't know your set. Max HP is a 2-shot. Psyshock would deal a lot. Yeah, Psyshock would deal a ton, actually. So I don't know if that's the best idea here. We've also got Kingdra. Yeah, Kingdra's also not the best option. We could also just go into Appleton here, actually. It could carry Psyshock, which could be interesting, but even Psyshock is, it's a 3-hit KO, maybe. But we are very, very bulky this week. And actually that's without, yeah, it's not too bad. It just depends on his investment. But I'm going to go ahead and Terra and set up an Amnesia and see what my opponent wants to do. We will just have to see what my opponent's set is this week. But yeah, Terra Fairy here is pretty nice into my opponent's team. There's not a ton that really checks it. And even if he wants to try like toxic shenanigans or anything like that, he does decide to stay in, which is interesting. But yeah, we do go for that Terra. Gonna get that Fairy off here, which is nice. I like that it's actually on the apple pie part rather than his head. I think that definitely looks a little bit nicer. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get that Amnesia off here. We are faster, so that means he's going for Trick Room. Or, oh, he's just slower. So he has Psychic instead of Psyshock, which is amazing. That's another Amnesia. I don't think you have anything that can stop Nuzzle. That's fine. I don't care. I have Rest that will get rid of that, so I'm not that concerned. I'll go to +6, I guess. But yeah, I have Rest, which will get rid of that, so I'm not too worried about it. All right, goes into Gliscor. So this is where I'm not sure what my opponent wants to do. So I'm gonna click Rest here. I don't think there's anything that my opponent can do that OHKOs me. There shouldn't be anything, even offensive. Let's say you have like Poison Jab for this. Yeah, Poison Jab doesn't kill. I'm gonna get the Rest off here. Knockoff, it's unfortunate, but not the end of the world, seeing how I'm super bulky, and that doesn't do all that much. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and rest up. He might start setting hazards, but we do have spin and things in the back, which is nice. So we'll be sleeping for a couple turns. Goes for U-turn, okay. Might go Ninetales here, I don't know. Just to get the sun up for Lilligant, or may just go straight Lilligant, I don't know. But I am +6 SPDF here. So yeah, even your Darkrai isn't doing all that much. Losing the Chestoberry is a little rough, unfortunately. Yeah, I do take bad dreams, which is unfortunate. But, I mean, even if you go for a Sludge Bomb here... trick. Wow. Okay. That's unfortunate. I get a Choice Scarf, which is not great. Not great at all. But that does mean that Darkrai is no longer super fast. And honestly, we might be able to, you know, still be okay. It's obviously far from optimal. He switches again. He doesn't really have a whole lot for this, is the thing. That's really funny. So goes into Gliscor, which is fine. I'm just going to hit him up with an Apple Acid here, which is going to lower his SPDF every turn. So the amount that did, it's going to deal more every time. Even though he's healing, it's dealing more every single time. So, goes for Protect. I mean, that's annoying, but I'm still going to be dealing more every time. So, he's resorting to PP stalling, which is interesting. Definitely an interesting strategy to have to go for against an Appleton. It's kind of funny that's what this has forced him into. The trick was definitely something I probably could have predicted and avoided and gone into something different. But, you know, it is what it is. Goes into Ninetales. Okay. I mean, it's not like this thing can touch me. It really can't. So basically this thing is just going to be wearing his team down little by little. And every time it gets that SPDF drop, it's going to be dealing a little bit more every time. I don't see the reason why I don't just keep clicking this move. Like, you know, I think that he has to just keep letting me just click Apple Acid until I die. And his team is just going to continually keep getting worn down. He doesn't have a great answer. And this is kind of what we were finding in mocks, is that there just wasn't a good answer for Terra Fairy Amnesia Appleton, because his team is super focused. That did good damage, especially considering the drop. His team is super focused on dealing special damage. Lilligant is one of his few physical attackers. That's why we were kind of looking at a possibility of a Sword Stancing Venusaur. Definitely was an option on the table. But as he's switching around, all of his pieces are taking little bits of damage here and there, which is going to allow Kingdra and Palafin in the end to end up cleaning up, which is really nice. So as long as I can keep Kingdra or Pelipper around in order to get Rain back up at the end, I think we're going to end up being okay. I don't think there's anything that this Lilligant can do that will KO me. I doubt it's even at Petal Blizzard. We should take that. Yep, we do. Not great, but I mean, we do take it. And that deals a lot there. And we're stalling Sun out as well, which is pretty good. So yeah, we've kind of successfully chunked his team a decent amount. Gliscor is obviously back at full, but Gliscor also doesn't appreciate taking a hit from this, or this, or this. So yeah, and I have Ice Spinner on this. So yeah, Gliscor just kind of gets knocked out by everything. The Darkrai no longer has its Scarf, so if I get a spin with this, then I can take it out with a Play Rough. Yeah, we've definitely got some play here. I don't think that I need to switch at this moment. I think I just let this go down. I think Appleton did a decent job. You know what I mean? It sat, and if it hadn't gotten the Scarf tricked onto it, but again, like I said, the Scarf being lost is not great, and now you lose your weather. So I still think this thing did a decent amount of work, which is nice. Let's see. I can just go into this. Yep. and you're not Terra or anything, so there's no like Terra Electric or anything weird about to come out now, which is nice. And I think I just U-turn again. Yep, you can't really stay in there, so I'm just gonna U-turn again, get a little bit of chip. Yep, deal about 5% to Hatterene maybe, and get out and do something else. Yep, so we've done like 10% to Hatterene, which isn't too bad there. Let's see here. It's almost in PALAFIN range. It's really, or well, let's see. That's different. Let's see. No, it's not almost in PALAFIN range. That's a lie. That's a lie. Let's see here. I mean, I guess I go into PALAFIN anyway, because I've gotta be careful about the walking wake, but at the same time I can outspeed it because it doesn't. We know that it doesn't have like booster, and even in the sun, it might even be special attack boosting. I would honestly, I wouldn't find that all that crazy. I'm just gonna click Wave Crash in the rain. I think that just dealing a ton of damage is a great play. If he wants to go into Ninetales to set up the sun, then that will be the final time he does that, and we can get rid of that immediately. So it is unfortunate that we're down 6-4. I'm not a huge fan of that, but I think that we're still okay. Goes into Lilligant and just sacks it. All right. I mean, that's fine. I'll take it. We can claim that Lilligant PALAFIN taking a KO there. We will take that. And we stay above half, which is really important because that means that we can still take a Draco from the Walking Wake, which is really nice. That's really important that we can do that. Might go into Ninetales here. I'm not sure what my opponent wants to do. Nope, just goes into the Wake. Okay. I mean, we've seen that we can take one from this range. We know that we can take one. I'm going to click Ice Punch because we might be able to claim this too. Because, like I said, we know we can take a Draco. We can take a Hydro Steam even in the rain if you want to go for that. The Assault Vest is really coming in clutch here. Even with no investment, I still think the AV is doing a lot of work here against a very, very special team. We are faster, and that does just take it out. So PALAFIN taking 2 KOs there real quick, which is really nice. I will absolutely take that. All right, and now goes into the Ninetales. So Ninetales, I believe, is going... it's probably not faster than me, right? I don't know. It's a speed tie. Do I want to risk that? I don't think I do. Jet Punch does 29 to 34. That looks more like 40. So I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So I think I go into Nigel here, get rid of the sun. Even if you want to go for that energy ball or baton pass or whatever it is, your mon that liked the rain is now gone. Your sun abuser is gone. Yeah, baton pass makes sense. We could have done some damage there, but I don't think that was worth it. If we had won the speed tie and then wave crashed, that could have been really good. I can't let this go down yet. Definitely not. Let's go into Manny here. We haven't gone into Tusk yet. We might as well give it a shot. See what we can do. I'd love to get a spin off if we can, but I don't know that that's going to happen. We will see. Dark Pulse, we should eat that. Yeah, we eat that really easily, which is really nice. And I'm gonna click Play Rough. Should hit most things. I mean, Glasgow can probably take that pretty easily, but we could turn around and hit it with Spinner right after. So that's really not a big deal. Ninetales, I don't think will take that hit if that wants to come in. So Sun will be gone forever at that rate. And if he switches Ninetales in, then we're gonna get the photosynthesis boost. and I don't know that he can risk giving that to us. We are booster speed this week. We have no attack investment, so we are booster speed this week. Goes for the Psychic. We should take 1 thanks to our Assault Vest. We do. And we almost one-shot. We deal, well, we did like 60%. But that should be Jet Punch range, I would imagine. Darkrai's not terribly bulky. In fact, it's pretty frail. It does need to be raining, but if it's raining, that should be a guaranteed one-shot. I don't think I really need this for anything specifically. It would be nice to have it in the sun, but I don't think I necessarily need it. Keeping this healthy is more important, I think. So I'm okay with that. I'm gonna click spin just in case he does decide to switch. He does not, which is fine. All right, so down goes Tusk. Did a lot of damage to this. If I'd had a fighting move, obviously I'd have been in better shape, but that's okay. I think I go back into this, and Jet Punch should KO here in the rain. So I believe we're good to just click that. I don't believe I've shown this yet. I don't believe I've shown that I have Jet Punch yet. I mean, it's, you know, it's not that crazy of a bring, but he doesn't have a great switch into this, just because if he goes Ninetales, then I can just go Pelipper for free, or I could even stay in and risk the speed tie, but I don't think that's necessarily worth it because Palafin's kind of my win condition at this point. Yeah, Palafin is kind of what's winning me the game at this point, and so I'm hoping that that we can keep this around. Ninetales, Gliscor, okay. Whew, that almost KO'd just in one shot. So I'm just gonna click that again. If you want to protect, that's fine. I don't mind. I think he just lets Gliscor go down here. I don't think he has a lot of value in this right now. I mean, you can stall all you want, I guess, but I think he's got to get a double here in order for him to live that. Because, yeah, the first one was rain boosted, but I mean, it did like 90. So I would think a non-rain boosted one can still deal 40. He might switch, but again, that's chip on something else. And if he goes into Ninetales, then I can two-shot that. And so, yeah, I don't think he's in the best position right now because of Palafin. He does switch, okay. But yeah, Palafin can revenge that anytime. It can revenge the Darkrai at any time as long as rain is up. And even then, I probably can take a hit. I would imagine I can. Yeah, Hatterene goes down to... I just click Wave Crash here just in case. Yep, and Hatterene goes down too. Alright, Palafin just claiming souls here. Palafin really hadn't done all that much work for me this season yet, and it is coming in clutch right now, which is really cool. My opponent probably no, it goes Gliscor again. Okay. Alright. I mean, that's fine. Let's see. I mean, I don't have to go for priority here, I don't think. I just click Ice Punch on your Protect. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. I'll show Ice Punch. I don't really lose anything here by doing this because even when I click if I click Ice Punch, I'm guaranteed to KO, right? It doesn't matter. And you can switch in Darkrai and be put in guaranteed Jet Punch range, or you can lose Ninetales to Ice Punch plus Jet Punch. So I don't lose anything by clicking this. Yeah. And that's gone too. Palafin takes that down. Very good. I am going to need the rain back up, like I said, for Darkrai. Just because I do want to guarantee that KO. But that's fine. But yeah, he is out of range at the moment, so I go back into Nigel every time. And I've also got Kingdra that just, hasn't come out yet. Kingdra just hasn't even come out of the Pokeball yet. So what are you gonna do? Dark Pulse, that's fine. I don't need this anymore. Well, I might need this. I go Kingdra, actually. Yeah, I go Kingdra, because I've got to keep this alive. I can't risk going for U-turn in case he two-shots me. If he crits me, then I'm gone, and I can't deal with that. So, yeah, I just hard switch into Kingdra. I'm guaranteed faster. That hurts, but it's fine. What do you want to go into? I mean, Dragon Pulse hits everything. I don't know why I wouldn't just click the neutral Dragon Pulse. Yeah, that's fine. Might go into Ninetales and sack it. Might go into Ninetales. That's fine. That's why we kept Pelipper around. I'm not clicking Water Move here. I click the neutral move every time. And Ninetales is gone. Good job, Kingdra. So yeah, we have won the Weather War very late in the game, but we did win the Weather War, which is nice. Goes back into Darkrai. Now here's the he was choiced, so he's not going to click like Nasty Plot or something here. I think we go back into this, win the Weather War definitively, and then just win from there with a Dragon Pulse plus. I mean, we could win with either one, honestly. Because yeah, once we have this up, then Palafin guaranteed KOs, and then we click Ice Punch on Gliscor, and we win the game. I'm gonna go Palafin because I want Palafin to get the thumbnail now because it's done so well this game. We'll take it. We will absolutely take it. But yeah, Jet Punch should guaranteed KO while it's raining. It does not when it's not raining, but it should KO while it's raining. And it does. Very good. We take those, and then Gliscor can't do anything. Oh, that was it. I had already KO'd it. I miscounted my my KOs, but we'll take it. Absolutely dominating performance by Palafin. If I'm counting this right, we got 5 KOs with Palafin. So we'll take it. And Appleton coming through as well. Really, really good stuff from Appleton. You know, I had to rep the mascot this season, and I think it fits really well on this squad. I hate that Torterra had to go, but I really think that this is going to be the season for the Appletons to have Appleton and for it to go very, very far. So thank you so much for watching this battle. We are now 1-2. We're going to claw our way back, and we're gonna win some games and have a great time doing it. So until next week, stay safe out there, stay healthy. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.